Side note too, put it in your bag so that it doesn't buzz in your pocket.
It doesn't buzz.
Put it in your bag so it doesn't buzz in your pocket and you get distracted about it again. Okay? I sent out an email today to parents, likewise, bag. I sent out an email to parents, and I can't remember if I clicked on you guys or not, or if I could click on you guys or not, but I'm missing, if you're missing something, email. So we've been asked to be more diligent in our communications with missing stuff, and so it's 2 clicks of it on Infinite Campus for me to send one out. It's kind of an impersonal email because it fills in your name, but then it also fills in which ones you're missing from the list. So it's kind of an impersonal one, but just go on and check. Everything's on It's Learning. Everything's in the grade book that you have for it. But I did send that out this morning, so if your parents are going to send you a text or talk to you tonight or something like that, that's what that's all about. It's just something that I don't have. Okay? So I need it. Okay? So first question is, our warm-up today is that ordered triple a solution to that system? You tell me yay or nay on is that an order, or is that ordered triple a solution? Yes or no? Solution, not a solution? No? Okay. Well, let's check it out. So if I got to try it in the first one. So that's going to be 3 times 4 plus -5 plus 7, and that's going to be 14. So that's 3 times 4 plus -5 plus 7. And so then we get over here 12 minus 5 plus 7 is in fact 14. So it does work in the first one. Okay? So now I got to go try the second one. So then in the second one, that's going to be negative of 4 plus 2 times -5 minus 3 times 7, and that's got to be -9. So that was -5, and that was 7, and that was 4. So that's -4 minus 10 minus 21, and that gets me actually, what's that, -35? So that one doesn't work, so therefore my ordered triple is not a solution. So not a solution. If it works in the first one, if the ordered triple works in the first one, then I got to go to the second one and I check it. If it works in the second one, then I got to go to the third one and check it. If it works in the third one, then it's a solution. If it doesn't work in any one of those, it's not a solution. Okay? Love it. All right. So let's learn how to solve a 3x3 system of equation using elimination. Okay? We're going to focus on substitution and elimination this chapter because those are your 2 go-tos. Okay? Those are your go-to ones. So the first step in elimination is that you need to pick one of the 3 variables to eliminate. Okay? So you can, and it doesn't matter which one you eliminate, but you're going to have to eliminate that one variable a couple of times. So it kind of makes sense as to picking the right one. Okay? So if I'm looking at this one, I would pick either X or Z to eliminate. Because with X, you have in equation number 1 and equation number 3, you've already got elimination set up for you. Okay, so that makes that a little bit easier. In Z's, you've got a singleton Z. You've got a 1Z in the third equation, which you could multiply that equation then to eliminate the other 2 Z's. So again, it doesn't matter which variable you're going to eliminate. Okay? So I will leave it up to you. Do you want to eliminate x, y, or z? X. Okay? So we're going to pick x to eliminate. Okay? So step number 2 then is we need to eliminate that variable twice. Okay? We're going to have to go through and eliminate that variable twice. So I'm going to take here in step number 2, I'm going to take equation number 1 and I'm going to add it to equation number 3. Because we're eliminating x. So that's negative 2x plus 4y plus 5z equals 5. And positive 2x plus 5y minus z equals negative 12. And I'm going to add those two together, and that's going to eliminate my x and leave me with 9y plus 4z equals negative 7. And I'm going to call that equation number 4. Now, I have to eliminate x one more time, but I can't use the combination of equations 1 and 3 again. I have to use another combination of equations. So I could either choose 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 to eliminate. Okay? I personally, since we've got a negative x value in equation number 1, I would pick 1 and 2. Okay? But I've got to eliminate x again, so that means that I am going to go with 5 times equation number 1, and I'm going to add that to 2 times equation number 2. Because I got to eliminate the x's. So I got to get these two x values to be the same. 2 and 5, the smallest number is 10. So I'm going to go to get those to both be 10. Okay? So if I do that, then I get, so that's negative 10x plus 20y plus 25z equals 25. And then 2 times equation number 2 is going to be 10x plus 4y minus 6z equals negative 2. I'm going to add those two together. Again, my x's cancel each other out, and that leaves me with 24y plus 19z equals 23. And we're going to call that equation number 5. Because now what has to happen is step number 3, I'm going to have to use elimination or substitution or graphing on those two equations, on equations 4 and 5, to solve for y and z in this case, or to solve for the two variables that I have left over. Okay? Now, the downfall with 3x3 eliminations is that these equations 4 and 5 aren't necessarily going to be the nicest ones to do substitution or elimination on. Okay? So your numbers might get a little large. Okay? And that's fine. We're okay with that. Okay? So we need to pick, in this particular case, the fourth equation doesn't really make it nice if I divide by 9 or by 4, and the fifth equation doesn't make it nice if I divide by 24 or 19. So I'm not going to go with substitution. I'm going to go with elimination. Okay? Now, do we want to eliminate y's or z's? Y or z? Doesn't really matter. Y. Okay. All right. So then let's pick y to eliminate here in step number 3. Okay. Now, we can multiply the top equation by 24 and the bottom equation by -9. Okay. Or we could multiply the top equation by 8 and the bottom equation by -3. Because that gets me to 72. Okay? But again, if you didn't see that, 24 and -9 or -24 and +9, all is good. Okay? So top equation by 8 gives me 72y plus 32z equals -56. Bottom equation by -3 gives me -72y minus 57z equals -69? Yeah, 3. Yep, -69. And I add those two equations together. Again, my y's now cancel out. And that leaves me with, what's that, -25 z? Equals -125. Divide by -25, and I get z here is 5. Agree with z being 5. Okay. Then we plug that z equals 5 back into one of our two equations. I'm probably going to go the top one. So the fourth equation, 9y plus 4 times 5 gets me -7. So that's 9y plus 20 equals -7. So that's 9y is -27. So that's y is -3. Okay. Now we can take those two and we can plug it back into one of our original equations and we can get x. I'd probably go with, what do you think, equation number 3? Let me make that one. 2x plus 5y minus z. Has got to be negative 12. So that's going to be 2x plus 5 times negative 3 minus 5 has to be negative 12. Two x minus 15 minus 5 equals negative 12. So that's 2x minus 20 is negative 12. 2x is 8. X is 4. Yeah? So now we got all three of them. Now what should we do? Now we should check it. Yep, now we should check it. Okay? And then, at the end, we're going to write it as an ordered triple. Okay? So, if I'm checking it, first equation was negative 2x plus 4y plus 5z has to be 5. So that's going to be negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 5 times 5 is 25. Negative 8 minus 12 is negative 20. Plus 25 is 5. And that's equal to 5. So it checks out the first one. Next equation was 5x plus 2y minus 3z equals negative 1. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. 20 minus 6 is 14, minus 15 is negative 1, and negative 1 is equal to negative 1. Whoops. Hit the... Last equation, 2x plus 5y minus z equals negative 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. 5 is 5. 8 minus 15 is negative 7, minus 5 is negative 12, and that is equal to negative 12. So our final answer is 4, comma, negative 3, comma, 5. Sometimes substitution is easier, sometimes elimination is easier. Now you got both tools in your toolbox. Okay. Word problems now. Write and solve the system to the following word problem. Use elimination. Okay. So the sum of three word problem, tap the brakes, I'm getting ahead of myself. What's the first 3 steps in a word problem? First thing you got to do is read it. Second thing you got to do in a word problem is what do you got to do second in a word problem? Come up with the variables and then label what they are. Okay, yep. So you got to define your variables. And then third is make equations. And we have to make an equation for every variable that we define, right? Okay? So that's those 3 steps in a word problem you can't get around. You've got to read it,
You got to define what you're looking for, define your variables, and then you got to make equations to fit what's going on. Okay? So, the sum of three numbers is 6. The third number is the sum of the first and the second number. The first number is one more than the third number. Find the three numbers. Okay? So we've read it. Now we got to define our variables. What do we want to define the first variable as? So I need a letter and what it is. You have 26 letters to choose from. X. We want our first one to be X. Okay. What are we going to define X as then? What? First number. Yep. Okay. X is going to be our first number. Okay. Can I get by with defining one variable? No? Okay. What's my next variable going to be then? Y. Okay. All right. Thought you were going to go with M there for a second, Robbie. No? Okay. What is Y going to be then?
Can be the second number.
Second number? Okay. We'll go in order. That's fine. That works for me. And lastly, Q. All right. And what's Q going to be? Third number. Now, if you put Z, that's fine. Okay? If you put anything there, it's fine. Doesn't matter, as long as there's 3 letters. Okay? All right, so now we've done step number 2. We've defined our variables. We're going to be finding 3 numbers. There's going to be a specific order to those numbers. Okay? All right, so now we need to come up with 3 equations because we defined 3 variables. First equation. What is the first equation? X plus Y plus Q is 6. Okay? The sum of the 3 numbers is 6. Second equation. Do we agree with X equals Q plus 1 for the second equation? Got a lot of head shakes behind you. X plus Y equals Q for the second equation. Okay? All right? Third equation. X plus 1 equals Q. Do we agree with that? Yes? I do not agree with that one. Because did you say X equals Q plus 1? Or did you say X plus 1 equals Q? I might have heard you wrong. X plus 1 equals Q is what you said?
Yeah.
Nope, I don't agree with it then. I would agree with Q minus 1 equals X. No, I wouldn't agree with that one either. Tap the brakes. First number, what's the first number? X is, that's equals, what? 1 more than, so that's 1 plus, right? What's the third number? Q. So I would agree with X here equals Q plus 1. You were going X plus 1 equals Q.
Yeah, I have something completely written down.
Okay. Okay, so there's my 3 equations. Now, if we're going to be using elimination here, we are going to have to rewrite them and get them all aligned. Remember how we said x's and then y's and then equals and then numbers back 2 weeks ago when we were doing it? Well, now it's x's, y's, in this case it's q's, and then equals and then numbers. Okay? So the first one is going to be x plus y plus q equals 6. The second one on the rewrite is x plus y minus q equals 0. Third one on the rewrite is x plus 0y minus q equals 1. Okay? Agree with all of that? So we've rewritten it, and so that we've got an x column, a y column, a q column, equals, and then numbers. Okay? Now, using elimination, you solve this system. I would probably pick q to eliminate. So that's going to be 1 plus 2. And then x. Two x plus 2y is 6. And then, oops, there we go. And then I would go 1 plus 3. And that's going to be x plus y plus q is 6. And x minus q is 1. And that gets me 2x plus y equals 7. And then I would run, so this would be equation number 4 and equation number 5. And then I would run, so I would go 2x plus 2y equals 6. And I'd go negative 2x minus y equals negative 7. And then that gets me y equals negative 1, which then I put back into 2x plus negative 1 equals 7. 2x equals 8, x equals 4, then I can go this color. Then I can go x plus y plus q has to be 6. So 4 plus negative 1 plus q equals 6. And so then that's 3 plus q equals 6. So q is 3. So my first number is 4. My second number is negative 1. And my third number is 3. The sum of the first 3 numbers is 6. 4 plus negative 1 plus 3 is 6. Yes, that checks out. The third number is the sum of the first and second numbers. 4 plus negative 1 is 3, and 3 is my third number. Yes, that checks out. The first number, 4, is 1 more than the third number. 3 is 1 less than 4, so 3 plus 1 is 4. That all checks out. So my answers, and it has to be in that order. Otherwise, it doesn't work out. Okay? If I put it in a different order, it doesn't work out. Okay? Which is why we define the variables here as first number, second number, and third number. Again, before you leave today, you should turn in the 3.4 day 1 homework, which was the substitution homework. Here is the day 2 homework, and this will be due tomorrow. On Valentine's Day.